We have a shocking Phoenix Suns trade update as a new report reveals something that is absolutely wild about Jimmy Butler and the Bradley Beal situation, as things are absolutely heating up, but could be coming to a halt for the Phoenix Suns and their pursuit of Jimmy Butler in this recent update. And this could ultimately affect the roster for Mike Budenholzer. So we're going to be diving in and breaking this down on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez with my co-host Curtis Jones. Curtis, how we doing today, my guy?
Doing good, doing good. Sleepy once again, but we're here to talk about the Suns. It's the sun's out, just shining, so I gotta wake up and get to
Exactly,
it.
exactly. I love the spirit. And for you guys that are at home, if you guys want to make sure you stay up to date on everything regarding around this Suns team, make sure to keep hitting that like button and let us know what you think about the Suns down below in the comment section. And make sure to come out to today's live stream because we will be live once again on Thursdays every week. Curtis and I now will be live 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So we hope to catch you all there, going over the Suns last week, looking at their forward this week, and answering all your questions. Without further ado, Curtis, let's dive in. Let's get into that video. Make sure for everyone to grab that snack. And unfortunately for the Phoenix Suns, Curtis, this shocking update is not great for the team as we see some roadblocks possibly hindering a possible deal for this team. As we see an update from Chris B. Haynes come out yesterday that the Milwaukee Bucks Bradley Beal connection is non-existent. Hashtag Haynes briefs. And what we see from that is not some great news, Curtis. What is your kind of initial reaction from hearing that gut wrenching news?
I mean, it's not something that I didn't see. You know what I mean? I'm out here wondering who does want Beal. It's like I said, it's still not his play that is the issue. It's just how do you fit him in? One thing I saw on the Jeff Teague podcast, they were talking about Beal one time. They said this guy was over it being the guy, right? For his team, and he was able to put up any shot he wanted, drop 50, and still lose. How do you plug that into your offense? It's not that he's bad. It's just nobody's figured out how to win with him. So it's going to be hard to get him off, especially with the kind of contract he has right now.
Exactly, and I think that no trade clause obviously makes things more difficult with the Bucks as well to be able to even acquire Bradley Beal. They'd have to move multiple salaries and even have to drop underneath the second apron, so it'd be very, very difficult for a trade to get down. But we got some more updates revolving in us round as well. As we all know, John Gambadoro, John Gambo, always coming up with the clutch stuff. He was giving us some details as well last night to give Suns fans kind of plugged in, and he let us know that nobody that I know of now wants Beal in that contract. It's always been a matter of having to incentivize some team to take him with assets, and even then, Beal has to want to go to that such team as a no trade clause obviously looms large because he can control where he wants to go. We've already known that, and we know from John Gambadoro as well that Jimmy can want to come to Phoenix all day, every day, but unless someone takes Beal, there is no deal. So, like I was saying, no Beal, no deal might be the new catchphrase for this Phoenix Suns team here, Curtis. What do you think of that?
I mean, it just makes sense because what sense would it make for us to pick up Jimmy Butler if we still had Beal on the roster? You get what I'm saying? At that point, you just have a bunch of that's like having a handful of poker cards, right? That doesn't equate to anything, but you got a bunch of high cards. You got your ace in there, you got your queen, and then you got a nine and a 10. None of them suited either. It's just, can't do anything with it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I would like to see it happen, but it's one of the things that I'm sure most people saw anyway. If we couldn't get Beal over there, we weren't going to get Jimmy.
Exactly, exactly. But even though we've seen all this kind of stuff, we do still know that Miami wants off Jimmy Butler badly, and they are highly motivated to make a deal happen, but they have not wanted Bradley Beal at any point in the process to date. This is already going back to when Beal obviously got benched, when Jimmy Butler sent the trade request. So they were relying on other teams stepping up to take him on as of now, to my knowledge, as no team has emerged, and obviously Beal has that no trade clause. So here's Bradley Beal looking at this picture, courtesy of my guy John Voita. He's holding all the cards here with his no trade clause. He gets to decide realistically what is happening. I see you laughing, Curtis. What do you think of the image with Bradley Beal at the nice poker table? You had that nice little analogy right there, and
That's what
here
I
it
was
comes
laughing
popping
at.
up.
That's what I was laughing at. I didn't know you were gonna put that picture up, and it just fit what I said so well. That's funny. That is so funny. But let's get back to it. I really think that if Jimmy really keeps forcing the issue and he wants out, I don't think that's impossible for the Heat to take Beal, right? And that's one of the things I was saying a couple videos ago when I said it's gonna take a long time to get this deal done. I don't think it's dead. I don't think that it's impossible. This news doesn't make it where we can't get the trade off, but it's just gonna be hard to do. Beal's got to be okay with it, and the Heat have to want to take Beal on, plus whatever else we send over with him. And it's just Jimmy's pressing so hard that something's probably going to happen. But I also would not be surprised if both of those players, Jimmy and Beal, end up playing for their teams for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the thing. But I think we're seeing some smoke, and when there's some smoke, we know there's some fire, and we got some more as well as we see some coming from Flex Jersey. As we all know, Flex has some sources as well. He's saying, so it's like over, I guess, right? I'm not doing this again, man. Believe what you want. I'm not doing this after every tweet report. Insert comments below at your own risk. Just remember to stand on it and not hide after. I stand by everything I said. I guess we'll see though. And Flex has been one of those main pushers for obviously Jimmy coming through. And I'm kind of leaning with Flex here. I'm not going to lie. I still think something is going to happen. I think obviously maybe there is obviously legitimacy to Crispy Haynes reporting on this, Bradley Beal Bucks situation now. But I do ultimately do believe that some things will come through the cracks. And we've seen what the agents reportings with Jimmy Butler and Shams Charania, with Bradley Beal and his agent reportings. Maybe the agents aren't necessarily the most tapped in, and maybe they're trying to spin a different little story. Whereas obviously the owners and obviously the GMs and maybe Shams or those insiders might have a little bit more information.
Yeah, they've got the information, but they're not telling us.
Exactly, man. But
uh,
But as we get into the next part, and you guys leave your comments down below in the comment section, Curtis and I are going to talk about what is the ultimate goal for this Phoenix Suns team. Because as we know, regardless if they go for Jimmy Butler, regardless if they still have Bradley Beal on this team, they still are going to want to push for the playoffs. They still are going to want to have more moves coming through with this roster, and changes are still going to be needed. And they still have those 3 first-round picks. So even if they're unable to move a guy like Bradley Beal, they could still look to move off of guys like Yusuf Nurkic, maybe Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones, out of the Royce O'Neal, even out of those 3 or 4 guys that I just kind of listed. Who do you think is probably the most likely to be off this roster coming by the trade deadline?
Out of the group you named, I'd go Nurkic. I'd go Nurkic. I think that would be the most likely. I think off of production that we're getting and the value we could get for, right? I think that would make the most sense for us to try to make a play with such. Uh, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm in no man's land at the moment. It's so many different things that can happen. You know where I stand though. We gotta. I'm looking for the rebuild, dog, because I'm calling. Look, it could be possible. We could make the playoffs this season, but at what cost? At what cost, brother?
No, I feel what you're saying, Curtis. That's a lot of things that a lot of Suns fans are feeling as well. Because ultimately, with the team right now, right, you look at this roster, how it's constructed. You are probably making the playoffs at best, and maybe winning a game at best, right? That's what we can kind of see. Maybe 2 games at best. We're not winning a playoff series, and even though it would be better than last year, which was a playoff sweep, that's not what Sun fans ultimately were going in with these expectations, with this roster, with the season hopes. So ultimately, if they do swing a Butler trade, I do think it would propel them a little bit in the playoffs, but I don't think it also again it changes them everything. I still think they'd have to do some more moves around the edges around with Butler to then get them into that stratosphere. But that also might not be a thing until next off season or leading into next season as well. But with the retool and the rebuild, I kind of see where your brain is going, obviously, because you just want to see them actually just throw some stuff out there and kind of give the Suns fans a legitimate answer at this point and not just question marks.
That's it, man. Just give us some real deal answers and make some moves. At this point, when we're watching what the Suns are doing, we're the 10th seed. We need to make something shake. It is do or die. Either make the full big push or start getting into rebuild. Do one of them because staying exactly what we are is not the answer. I promise.
I guarantee. And I think we'll see some stuff with the Suns in these next couple of days. They are not playing, obviously, either tonight and tomorrow. So I do believe that the Suns will be on the phones over the next, 24, 48 hours. And I would keep an eye out, Suns fans, on possibly something maybe getting down in the near future. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I might feel something tingling. But Curtis, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode here on Suns Digest. Like we said, we broke down this shocking trade update, going over the kind of little blockade, but possible little smoke as well in that trade blockade. Curtis, we're going to be live once again here on this channel at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time for all the Sun fans who want to chat about this team. Are you excited for the stream later today, my guy?
Definitely, man. It's gonna be my first one with you. It's gonna be some fun stuff.
Exactly, exactly. I'm pumped up. Curtis is pumped up, and we'll catch you guys at the stream in the next video. If some news does come out, we'll get another video firing for you. But if not, we'll catch you at the stream. Signing off on Suns Digest with Bruce and Curtis. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out.